Abraham wasn't in conflict walking up that mountain. He had already settled in his heart that God had called him to do something that he was going to do. It was already settled in his heart. But how could he do this? I'm going to read to you from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 19. You don't have to turn there if you don't want to, but here's what he said back in 11:19. He considered that God is able to raise people even from the dead, for which he also received him back as a type. Abraham said, basically, I don't know what God is going to do, but that is God's problem. Isn't that amazing? That's God's problem. That's not my problem. And if God decides to take your life, then God will resurrect you from the dead. What kind of faith is that? You see, he had put it together this way. God had made him a promise. God had promised that Isaac would be the one that would carry on the name. Isaac would receive the covenant. God promised. And if God is now going to take the life of his son, God is going to provide somehow. What an answer here. God will provide the lamb. I was in Canada earlier this month preaching at a conference and at a church. And after the conference was over and after the service was over at the church, we were eating lunch with a lot of the conference leaders and so forth. And they had said earlier that they didn't get enough money in from the offerings to pay for all the conference and so forth, quite a little bit of shortfall. So I asked them, I said, well, what are you going to do? You didn't get enough money in here. And one of the leaders said, that's God's problem. God will take care of that. And he went on eating.